So, oh my gosh, I have such big bags, even though I thought I got enough sleep. I guess I'll have to have some coffee and sleep well tonight. I did wake up a lot. I felt like I was tossing and turning. I think maybe I ate too much before bed. Okay. It is what it is. Oh, wow. I didn't know. Okay. Okay, so in kitzur shulchan aruch, which is the shortened, basically the order, it's called the set table, but what it really means is the order, the rules, the details. So the Torah is the Torah with all of its information. We actually went through in my channel, the videos, my channel. We went through the videos of, I think it was 6 parts for the 613 mitzvos, commandments. As organized by Chabad.org, there's some opinions about whether one is a little different than the other, but that's the go-to sort of set in a majority, at least. So kitzur shulchan aruch goes into details about what is it expected of a Jewish person in times where we don't have all the details or exactly how to do it, and it's called halacha. Halacha is the way to live. It's a way of life. That's what it's called. So I'm going to share from 2 pieces today. First is chapter 151, and it cites, there's a lot of citations. So this is, kitzur shulchan aruch uses tons of different sources of all the different rabbis, or the ones who basically make clarifications on the rules. They interpret exactly what needs to be done. They are often judges or commentators on the Torah. So in the book of O Aryeh, citing Sefer Yisod on Zera Levatala. What is that? Zera Levatala is the seed that was nullified. That's what it means literally. What is it referring to? When a man's seed is not used in the context of being close to his wife and in a reproductive manner. While there are some commentators that say that a man could have relations with his wife where in short, where he's able to have sexual relations with her that don't culminate in a pregnancy. Well, in other words, you don't know if you're going to get pregnant, but they say that Jewish people, we're not supposed to have sex be something casual. It's supposed to be holy and sacred and for creative purpose. It's not supposed to be for nothingness. That's what the vatala means. The vatala means for nothingness, like a waste. So they're saying, why should we have something be a waste? It should be always for a purpose. So there are some commentators that say a husband and wife who are engaging in pleasureful acts together to become a unified force is also important, and even if they don't actually have in mind to get pregnant, and by their actions they don't exactly do things in the way that would result in a pregnancy, but they're doing it for the purpose of becoming, a cohesive unit. So there are some that say that. Otherwise, a lot of the opinions are that you should only engage sexually when it is for the purpose of having children. And they're taking out the laws of what happened to Judah's sons. He had 3 sons. The first 2 died because they wanted to have their seed come out of the woman. They literally pulled out at the point when they were one for the reason that he didn't want to lose his wife's beauty if she would become pregnant, and the second one was because the first child, when you marry your brother's widow, is actually sort of the seed of the brother. It's a big mitzvah to marry the wife, the widow of your husband, of your friend, of your brother when they didn't have children. And then the first child is sort of his lineage, his continuity. He didn't want to give his first child to the brother. So that's what they say. So they both died. And it says that even Ruth, the story of Ruth, her husband and her sister-in-law Naomi's husband, the 2 sons of Orpah, the two sons of Naomi died also. It says could be because they were like, the Zohar talks about how the Zohar by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a mystical book, a mystical series of stories and writings, says that they were reincarnations of those sons. Anyway, so it says one who stumbled over this sin of wasted seed should engage in the following practices in order to rectify it. He should give abundant charity to the poor. He should honor and adore Torah students. He should pray with concentration and tears. He should choose the trait of humility, and he should raise children to Torah study and guide them in the fear of heaven. He should perform mitzvos with zeal, mitzvos are the commandments, with zeal, promptness, to the point of becoming heated, especially when he's baking the matzah for Passover, the unleavened bread. He should raise an orphan at home and treat him like his or her own son. He should engage, basically that other child that didn't have parents. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful way. He should engage, like the one who didn't have parents here, this child was never born, so he makes the match, where now he takes care of a child that wasn't even his. Engage in it so that a child that would have come out of it was now being taken care of. Anyway, engaging in the mitzvah of hachnasas kala, which is escorting the bride. In other words, like making her happy, making sure she's taken care of. Then we have to lessen the risk. This is a protection for the wasted seed. 1, guard mouth. Well, there's a bunch of things here actually. To guard one's mouth from foul language, lies, slander, gossip, and mockery. He should also guard his ears from hearing such things. He should be careful to keep his promises. He shouldn't worry too much. He should be weary regarding sinful fantasies. He shouldn't overeat or drink during the evening meal, and he shouldn't eat foods that increase the body heat. We could think of this as eggs, cheese, dairy dishes, fat meat that has fat. This is before bed. Before going to sleep, he should study Torah or recite the first 4 chapters of Tehillim. Tehillim is the Psalms. The sages say that the sinner's hands are full of blood. Who says that? Mechaber Shach, Rashi, and Tosfos. And that's for the sources. And he who discharges semen wastefully is deserving of death. That's what Rabbi Yochanan in Masechta Nida 13 says. And that they are in a state of being that's excommunicated. Now, sometimes there's such strong things being said, but the point here, is not whether or not the person is supposed to die or whatever. We're just supposed to recognize here the Torah is the Torah of life. We're not supposed to do things that take for granted life or waste potential. Or waste possibility, that are destructive rather than creative. Then I want to start from the beginning, chapter 1. It says, rise up in the morning with alacrity, wake at midnight to cry for God's sanctuary and for the Holy One, blessed be He. Chapter 2 talks about you take the vessel with your right hand to the left hand, pour over the right hand, then on the left hand 3 times. But if no water and you have river or snow, you could wipe on anything and say, al nekiyas yadayim. So we say netilas yadayim, and nekiyas yadayim is cleaning, versus like the ritual immersion, which netilah. So usually you'd say al netilas yadayim. Then it says say the prayers after emptying one's bowels and urinating if possible, so that you're not full of shit, you're not full of urine, that you're not full of waste. That's the best way I could say it. Okay. Chapter 3 talks about better not to wear red clothing or other sort of extravagant or extreme colors. The reason they chose red is because there was a theme of, like, in the non-Jews to wear red. Some people now do wear red. I, for a time, loved the color wearing red, and then I kind of said, you know what, let me practice without after reading this. In dressing or other activities, begin with the right hand or the right foot, whether it's shoes or buttons. When removing the shoes or the clothing, first remove the left. When we're tying the shoes, we have to put on the right shoe, then the left, tie the left, then tie the right. It says a man shouldn't walk between 2 women, and a woman shouldn't walk between 2 men. Then in chapter 4, it says, don't delay going to the toilet, whether it's for the bowels or the urination, and also clean yourself very well. Don't empty the bowels in front of anyone, even a Gentile. Don't think about Torah matters. Business is fine. In the bathroom. Don't think about Torah matters in the bathroom. You're allowed to think about business. Or on Shabbat, when you're not really supposed to think about business, you could think of something interesting that you saw or you heard. A man should not hold his circumcised organ while he's urinating. And in an open area when there's no partition, and that's where you have to go, let's say you're camping or you're out in the wilderness, the bowels, when they're removed, you should face north or south, not east or west. Chapter 5, no excrement uncovered or nakedness visible when someone is saying the Shema, the unity prayer of the Jewish people, or praying, or even thinking about sacred things is forbidden around a foul odor or excrement. And if it's urine, we have to pour water on it. It says about 1.5 eggs worth, which is about 2 fluid ounces, or some say it's about 3 ounces. And some say that's kind of like 2 fingers, although some say it's like 10 fingers, 10.8 cubic finger widths. to pour the water on it. So you see, they really have a lot of fun with talking about the details. It's forbidden to speak of sacred things if there's some excrement on the body, even if it's covered, except if there's something called external hemorrhoids that don't stop seeping, that don't seep, sorry. And even in a house with a filthy attic or a place where there's doubt concerning the existence of excrement or urine, we shouldn't pray. We must keep a distance from a person's excrement, even if there's no foul odor, even if it's a baby, especially excrement or urine from a 1-year-old and up who can eat a portion of grain like an olive or a half egg. And from the animal's excrement that has a foul smell or foul-smelling carcasses, anything with a foul odor caused by decay or from a chicken coop or foul odor or foul-smelling water, including water that became bad smelling from soaking flax or hemp. They say it could make it smell bad. I've never soaked flax or hemp. But they were very earthy, natural kind of people, back in the day. The distance from this, whatever it is, the foulness, once we can't smell it anymore, the excrement or urine, if behind us, it should be 4 or 5 amas. Amma is measured to from the tip to the elbow of the hand, of the arm, the elbow to the fingertip, from that spot, so 4 or 5 away. If in front, it should be as far as the eye could see, even at night. You should really get as far away as you could. If it's at the side, turn so it's behind you. If it's found while the chazan, the cantor, the leader is praying, is davening, it must be removed or covered, because for one of the congregations will be within 4 amas and cannot pay attention or listen to the chazan. Before they continue, it has to be removed or covered. When it's dry enough to roll into crumbles, it's like dust, as long as there's no foul odor. But if it's frozen, it's still considered excrement, because in the warm weather, it returned back to its original state. Excrement that's covered in snow is considered covered. And if excrement is found after saying Shemona Esrei, which is the Amidah, the standing holy prayer for people who pray out of the Siddur. It's 18 benediction, that's what's called Shemona Esrei. Really, there's 19. But where the place should have, so if excrement is found after saying Shemona Esrei, where the place should have been examined, it must be repeated. You have to repeat it again because you should have looked. Although you don't have to say the blessings, including Berchas HaMazon, and also Shema must be repeated. So in other words, some things do need to be repeated if you find it after and you should have looked, but some things don't. Like I said here, the blessings, certain blessings, like over food or smells, good smells, and then also like the after blessing for the eating. But Shema and Shemona Esrei do have to be repeated. If the place didn't require examination, you don't need to repeat it. Like if urine is found, you don't, and if urine is found, you don't need to repeat Shemona Esrei. But some say that, like Mishnah Berurah says, you do have to repeat even the blessings, like over food or good smells or whatever, or over thunder or lightning. There's a lot of blessings we could say. After flatulence, we have to wait for the odor to evaporate. Also, if a neighbor does it near him, although if he's engaged in studying Torah, he doesn't need to wait for the neighbor's emitted odor to evaporate. Neighbor not only in the house, neighbor like someone sitting near you. We must keep a distance when praying from a lavatory, even if it has partitions and no excrement, a bedpan, a urinal made of earthenware or wood, a hog, because it pecks at excrement, or any kind of hold seat that is also used as a seat with a hole, that's also used as a toilet when a container is placed under it. All these must be covered or removed. It is forbidden to speak or think of sacred matters or mention specific names of the Holy One Blessed Be, even in a secular language, in the bathhouse or a filthy alley. And it's forbidden to extend or wish shalom to a friend, because one of Hashem's names that Hashem is referred to is shalom. Shalom means peace, though, and it's also a name. So some say you can't even. It means wholeness. Like, so some say you shouldn't even. Shalom means wishing you peace, but it's also one of the names of Hashem, like the wholeness, or the state of wholeness, of peace of Hashem. Some authorities even forbid you to call your friend's name if your friend's name is Shalom. It's forbidden to speak words of Torah or other sacred words in the presence of nakedness, one's own nakedness or others, even a small child, except when it's at the bris milah, which is at the circumcision on the 8th day, including the hair of a married woman, even if it's just part of it. You're not supposed to. It's considered her nakedness, be it his wife or another. Although in the presence of other women, she's not considered naked. The singing of a woman is also considered nakedness, in which case, if it's unavoidable or unpreventable, don't refrain from your prayers, from saying Shema, from learning Torah. Rather, intensely concentrate on the sacred subjects and don't pay attention to their singing. If closing one's eyes doesn't suffice, with the nakedness, closing one's eyes does not suffice, Rather, you have to turn and face your body away from the nakedness. And although women are not required, we say the men have to separate from their nakedness by having their trousers, belts, or arms holding their robe down, literally their chest, heart, from their nether regions, we would call it, from their groin area, even if the physical eyes don't see it when they're reciting a sacred text. So they should have like a belt, or their arms should hold something down. They should have something that really has a separation between their top and their bottom half. All right, so hopefully the set table, the order, I hope that was interesting. Wish you all the best. You could probably find on Chabad.org the whole kitzur shulchan aruch online for free in English if you wanted to.